Hi everyone. So I was getting ready for this reading and I was getting this feeling that whoever this resonates with needs to stop something. There's something that feels like a refusal to admit the truth or accept the truth and then trying to force something that doesn't work. Now, I don't know if this pertains to the viewer or someone towards the viewer, right? And so, however which way this may resonate with you, then take it as such. So I'm going to word it as if it's towards the viewer, just because that's the way that is coming to me. The information's coming to me, but again, you could always look at this reading as if you were sitting beside me reading for the person that I would say is against you in some way. There's a feeling of conceited, kind of, misdirected anger. I want to kind of say power. It's not real power. I don't feel like there's any power necessarily behind this energy. It's more of the focus, right? So that's where that feeling of power is like I'm focused on, again, it's this feeling of conceit. So it's like I'm focused on myself. I'm focused on what I want. I'm focused on how I'm being perceived and how I want to be perceived by others. And so I'm focusing my energy towards you, and it's in a negative way. Like, I do not want you to have I heard the word audacity too, so it's not, I mean, it is jealousy, but it doesn't feel like the person that I'm picking up on feels the jealousy yet, because the jealousy has a more heightened emotion, kind of is attached to like almost like a very active type of rage, while this feels more of a mellow, focused, angry rage. It doesn't get to the point of even acknowledging, hey, I'm jealous of this person, because it goes so deep like that because again, that would take a level of acceptance that I feel like I'm not enough, right? So I'm jealous of this person, but I'm not going to acknowledge that even to myself. So it's more of, I want to take this person down. I'm going to stick with that. I was going to say yes and no, but I'm going to stick with that because I think that's the closest, that's the closest description to what I'm feeling. I want to see this person go through hardships. I want to see this person suffer, or I want to see this person not succeed in something or have some sort of trip up. Okay, so as I was getting ready for this reading, I felt called to a particular deck, and I was telling myself, I don't really want to use that deck, but my guides are saying that there's specific words on the cards that you're going to choose that are going to display what it is that we're trying to give you as the foundation for this reading beyond what we're explaining to you right now. And the right now is what I have just told you, right? So I pulled out the deck, and the two cards that just immediately popped out were these two cards right here, the Six of Coins and the Ace of Coins, right? Now, here's where I'm seeing, okay, so they were actually reversed. Sorry. So it's the misused wealth it's the corruption, like the words that, okay, so misused wealth, corruption, and envy, jealousy, but I explain the jealousy, so it's envy, the selfishness, the bad debts, unpaid loans. Now, I'm seeing this almost literal, but very, very strongly as just a metaphor, because the bad debts and the unpaid loans trickles into a potential financial, like a tricky situation pertaining to finances. So whoever this person is that is on this negative trajectory has some sort, I feel a restriction. It's a tightening or a restrictive feeling pertaining to finances. So this person could theoretically be well off, but it's kind of like, well, the more you have, the more you spend, or the more that you have to save, or the more that you feel responsible for your money. And once you kind of get into like a higher tax bracket, there's a lot of people that feel like it's never enough. It's like you're always in competition with someone who somehow has more than you, so you never actually feel like you have a lot, because it's like, well, I may be doing well, but I'm not doing as well as this other person, right? So it's this feeling of the finances being restricted in some way. This could also pertain to the loans or unpaid debts. It's like paying taxes or even back taxes. It's like something along you're picking up what I'm putting down, right, guys? So anyway, when they see you, so I'm sorry, I'm sure this isn't confusing, but just to clarify for those of you who may have wondering, like, what, earlier I said that I would talk as if I was talking to that person with the negative energy. That's where I felt at that point. Maybe I just felt called at that point. Maybe I need to call them out somehow. I don't know, because now it's obviously I'm switching as if I'm just telling you about this person. So just so we're clear of kind of the way that I'm conveying what I'm seeing, right? Anyway, and then I'm seeing wasted money, the miserliness. There is a focus on money, the literal money. This could also just be like hinting towards, okay, like this person. I'm also seeing like cryptocurrency. I know that's really big with the altcoins and all of this. And so maybe this person is involved, like directly involved, like maybe they invest themselves, or it's like someone that's very close to them, so like a partner with them, you know, like a husband or a wife or whatever, that they could, or, you know, anyway, I was just trying to get into specifics, but it's just, we don't have to, obviously, let's gloss over it, right? So there's a connection somewhere, again, where it's like this tension, there's some sort of tension surrounding their own finances. Now, when they look at you, it's this feeling of like fantasy, like that person, like you, right? So they're looking at you like you seem to have it together, or like you don't worry about it, and the reason I say fantasy is because when someone feels this type of way, with like the intense jealousy and focused negative attention on you, then they tend to look at it with a grass greener type of perspective, very flowery and like hyper fantasy of everything that they think that you may have, even if it's not reality, they're creating that false reality in their mind because that's something that they desire in their own life and they don't feel that they have, right? So you are the manifestation of the things that they lack in some way. And I see this as like almost nightmarish. It's this feeling like if they're so unhappy with their lives, then you have now become the projection of, or like, maybe projection is not the right word, but you are the symbol of all of their frustrations, right? So instead of looking inward, then they're gonna look at you and just take it out on you, right? It's like a punching bag kind of. But not really, because it doesn't feel like you, well, first of all, you're not affected by this energy, okay? So, and when I'm saying this, I switch back to where I'm in the perspective of that negative energy. So it's interesting because it's like, well, whoever is feeling this way, like, because this is a general read, that there's gonna be people out there, or a person out there at least, that is viewing this, and you're very well aware that you were the person of that negative mindset. So it flipped me there, and then it's like, acknowledge that, like, hey, you see them, like, I see you, and then flip back, and then just continue the read, okay? Because I think what I'm about to say is really going to frustrate that person even more. And then as I say that, I'm also asking my guides, like, well, where's the relief? Like, of course you would want to provide that person that has this negative energy some sort of relief, some sort of way to work through this and work out of this. And my guides are saying to leave it be. If it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, it's not meant to come up. This is something that is needing to work out through their own experience, through themselves. And so that's not really what they're like, just don't get off track. So anyway, it doesn't look like you're affected by this negative energy, right? There is a force field surrounding you, and this force field is the creation of your own manifestations. It's the creation of your own high vibration. It's the creation of your own boundaries, and it feels like you've been working on this. You know, I don't want to like say this as if you had trouble with boundaries in the past. Maybe you have. I mean, a lot of us have, but this feels like a long time in the making. In other words, I'm saying that you've been having good boundaries for quite some time. So even if it fluctuated with kind of having weak boundaries or not, it's like the force field around you is being laid layer by layer by layer by layer, brick by brick, right? So there's a very strong force field around you where it's like, for that level of negativity and from this particular type of person, it's not going to bother me, and it won't bother me, and it hasn't bothered me because I don't resonate on that level. It just doesn't occur to me. It doesn't happen that way. If I were to be aware of this particular individual, I would find humor in it. I would not be affected in a way that they want me to be affected by it, right? So as much as they send energy, negative energy towards me, negative thoughts towards me, the evil eye towards me, I don't even notice. It's like, I am who I am, and I am a product of the way that I understand myself in the world, and the projection of my surroundings as, again, a manifestation of my existence and my being here. And that is not part of my manifestations. It's not a part of my reality. And therefore, it has no power over me. It will never reside power over me as so long as I'm ever here. And so that's that. It seems like this person is chained to their fantasy. They're chained to their desires. They're chained to this belief that there is a difference between the two of you, because I think there's also a deeper recognition within you that understands that we're all equal, right? Like to a certain capacity, like as a soul on a spiritual level, we're all the same. We just have different paths, and we have different levels of which we will begin to understand, right? So not just paths in this world of like what we have, materially speaking, but, and then it pulls me out, and my guys are also wanting to highlight this, of which I see that you inherently and also intellectually know, but they just want to say this, is like, we aren't like this world, we're not of this world, and we aren't, it's like, okay, beyond, we aren't of this world. Let's say it again, in that this world is not ours. So the material, as it's existing here in its temporary state, but also in its permanency of like souls cycling through onto this world, it's like you recognize that, you honor that, and there's also this feeling, recognition, belief, something of like the material is not inherently evil, right? Maybe the energy that passes through it, that attaches to it, material is not inherently evil. And if anything, it's the lack of money that's evil rather than money itself, right? So it's like, the root of all evil is money, or it's like the love of money, the desire of money, the worship of money, but it's also the lack of it, right? The lack of it, where it turns into the desperation to attain it, right? Because even if you don't have it and you are at peace with self and you have the necessities to like live, like then that, and you don't focus on it, right, then you're not loving it necessarily. But then if you feel like you don't have it and you want more of it, right, that coveting of it, then there lies that portal to evil. And I'm seeing this as like being a very important distinction between you and this other individual, or when I say individual, it doesn't feel necessarily right. I feel more like I should say person, which is very interesting because it kind of feels like the person being backed by darkness. So if I say an individual, then it kind of puts them into a category of just one, when it is a person backed by many demons. So there's that. What's going to happen with this person? It feels like they're going to have to answer to a higher power, obviously, but it doesn't necessarily feel, it kind of feels like they're returning home, but that's in quotations of returning home because it feels like their home base. So as they're backed by demons, then it feels like, okay, what other demonic entity can I channel in order to refocus myself, right? So even if they kind of like eventually leave you alone, it feels like, see, this I see in multiple ways. It's an acceptance of an offer, and it's the rejection of an offer. It's a rejection of what's there in front of you, which is in simpler terms, is salvation, in the sense of let this go completely, change direction, change route. Well, they are going to change direction, but it feels like a return to their home base of this negative. I'm seeing the word judgment, so it's like, but not in the sense of like higher judgment. It's like judgmental. And then I saw this cup came peeking through, right? So it's the Eight of Cups reverse, and it's the refusal to move on. It's the refusal to let go. It's the refusal of the letting go of things that no longer serve you. So the things that no longer serve you, you're holding on to it, you're carrying it. It's dead weight, dead energy, which means it's like I see it functioning in the body. So this person is going to, if they don't already have health problems, there's going to be health problems developing or worsening within their body. Okay, so that's a warning for those who are watching. Then you're going to have stuck energy. Let me complete my sentence. So let me just show this, right? So this came out. It fell on the floor, so I'm kind of taking it sideways. Okay, let me complete what I was saying. With the home base thing, it's this feeling of they're going to go back to square one, and it's like, okay, well, even if I don't focus my energy on you, I'm going to still like summon demons, and I'm going to do it so that I have what I feel I lack. I can be what I feel I want. So it's focus on the worship of this world, on the short-term desires, of the limited desires, right? Limitations of your mind, earthly desires, and it doesn't even have to necessarily be earthly. I feel called to distinguish, because this person I see as also wanting to summon in order to like deepen their channeling abilities. So you may be a very spiritually inclined person, whether you pick up on you know, if you're a medium, or if you're just not just an intuitive, but like whatever form you feel deeply connected to, spiritually speaking. And there's a tinge of I just saw, when I'm saying this, I don't really have to complete my sentence. I think you get where I'm going with this, but I guess I'll just do it so I get in the habit of finishing my sentences. Is they want what you have, but better. So, but they're going to do it with demons. So it's like they're going to ask the demons, hey, I'm going to work with you if you will help me, grant me, you know, the ability to foretell, the ability to see whatever, right? Now, as I was saying that, I'm getting flashes of different stones. It looked like a purple stone. It looked like maybe a green, so like emerald. It looked like reddish. Like I'm seeing different colorful stones. So that might be a significant message for you. Okay, so, and then they're saying, put this together, put this together, put this together. Of course that would come out. Don't be tempted to... It's interesting because look at this, or I didn't mention these, but these were also the colors. Look at the top of this card, the stones. There's the colorful stones right there. Okay, so don't be tempted to fall into the trap of entertaining yourself with their drama. Like, don't be excited. Like, try not to. Okay, no. Don't try not to. Do not allow yourself to be entertained by their addiction towards you. Let it go. Let it be. If you want to pray for them. Pray for them anytime it comes up in your mind, is what they're saying. Okay, your guides. They're saying when it comes up in your mind, including right now, if it's like right now or like after this reading, focus your attention and pray for them that they find relief from this, and that they have the strength and they recognize their ability to let this go. And then I'm seeing this as like, you can write this down, then throw away the paper, right? Write it down, throw away the paper. Write it down, throw away the paper. And that's a physical representation, like it's a symbol of what you're doing in your mind, of sending them your blessings and then removing it from your mind and removing it from your energy, removing it from your force field, okay? Because you don't want to, it's kind of this, I'm just seeing like a laser beam, so it's like you don't want to laser in on what they're doing, because it's a waste of your valuable time here on earth and what you are able to do and what you're meant to do on your path, on your journey, on everything that you've done so far. Wow. I cannot show you this. I'll show you this like this, I guess. What kind of card? How do I show you? Anyway, I have the Judgment reversed, so Judgment did come through. There's hair on there, in case you were wondering. What in the world? I'm looking at it because I'm looking at their hands. See? It says, I love you in their hands. Well, hopefully I didn't show you anything. A phoenix, feminine power reversed, feminine power reversed, love reversed, judgment reversed, burning fire, like the pot of burning fire, right, is reversed. And I'm seeing this as literally like if you took a pot and you turn it upside down and everything just starts spilling out. The fire starts spilling out, but what happens when the fire spills out is it rises again, right, in more power. So it's becomes uncontained. Is it uncontained? No longer contained. I don't think uncontained is a word. Anyway, and essentially that's what I'm getting here, is like you don't want to have the fire no longer contained. The fire being represented as something negative, right? The negativity is being contained because it's being dealt with. Their own angels, their true guiding light force is observing, is working, is there, and their own path is their own path. Whatever they decide to choose, if they want to just go rogue, then so be it. But with you also have that choice of whether or not to focus. Now, I'm questioning, like, then why are you aware of this? Like, what is the whole point? And telling you this, I think there's a multitude of things here that I won't address because it's not coming to me. What's coming to me is that there's a multitude, but one specifically is what I had just addressed of you're here for very powerful reason that you've been working towards and you have been walking already. So it's important for you to here your guides essentially dote on you of, hey, your boundaries are so strong. What you've been doing is so powerful, and when things like this come up into your awareness, it's important that you bless them, you bless it, and you release it. It's of utmost importance that you continue to practice that art of forgiveness, because it's a way of acknowledging light in a frustrating circumstance and then fully releasing it. And again, anytime it may potentially come up into your awareness, to do it again. Forgive by blessing, then releasing. And if you feel compelled, which I think it's very important because they are highlighting this of something that you should practice, is writing it down. Like, you can even say, like, that specific person if you would like, or even just like, I forgive, I bless this particular circumstance. God grant me the strength to let this go. You can even say something, let me see, like, I'm hearing like, it is done. So you could write something about, like, you could like finalize it, like, it is done. And then just say something along the lines of, like, God, show me the path. Like, show me your will, right? Guide me by your will. And then release it. So don't be tempted to compete with the energy in some way. And there you go. 4 of Wands. 5 of Cups reversed. 2 of Swords. The Sun. 1 more. Yes. 10 of Wands. Your guys want to acknowledge an idea that they're circling near. So this could have already happened. You could have already had this idea, or it's about to come into fruition for you. And this idea pertains to something that, well, they're showing me the distance now. They're pointing out the 10 of Wands and that castle in the distance. And the way that they're showing me this storyline is this individual's you in the 10 of Wands, but he's excitedly he's not necessarily walking towards that castle. That castle is, it feels unexpected. Like, unexpected in the sense of it's not something that's just going to be like this surprising, exciting situation. It's like you built your way to that castle to the point that because it's so kind of like this, like building, like you're building yourself towards it, then when you're already in the castle, you've been like working your way up, that it doesn't seem like a shock to you, right? And then there will be like fleeting moments where like I'm talking in the future. This is something in the far future. Like not even 10 years, honestly. Like when I say far future, then like, and then I even see 8. So like not even 8 years. It like pulls me in. Like it's not far. It's not long. It could even be 2028. So that's like 3 years away pretty much, at the time of me recording this. So anyway, so there, I'm just like, I'm trying to think like, it could be any time sooner, but it doesn't, I'm not getting a clear answer. They're just pulling me forward like 10 years is a little too far. Like it's sooner than that. Yeah, so it's this building block. But in reflection, in that future I'm talking, when you reflect, when you're in that castle, then you'll be like, wow, I've actually come really far, but it was so gradual that didn't really, like I didn't have time to really like catch up, you know, and like, I don't know, it's like, it's like very sweet energy. Okay, so anyway, this idea that I'm saying is like this guy right here, he's walking down this path, but it's like you're walking away. You're walking away with something that you picked up from something that you've done. So it's like you've picked up this idea, but it also has something to do with like, it's like your idea is based off of something that like you've experienced, you've witnessed, you know. It's like how a lot of ideas, I guess, come to you, right? It's like inspired by something in some way, or it's like you see a need. I mean, I'm not really clear, but it's just like you get this flash of an idea, like this is a really good idea, and then you gather something from where you've been, whether it's like information or some sort of resource. Like information is still a resource in the way that it's being perceived, okay? So then you're moving forward and you're working on it, and then I'm just seeing it building little by little. It's building and building and building and building and building, right? And that's where your guides are focusing you on. They're like, this is where you need to be, you know, because if you don't keep that fire contained, it's going to divert your attention, divert your energy. So this goes beyond this particular instant, right? Or instance. It goes beyond this particular person. But I see that your guides want to use this as an example of any distraction that may enter your field. Keep your energy contained, keep your focus contained, and continue to keep it contained, because your destiny heavily relies on your desire and subsequent action to follow through with these ideas. Divine ideas. And just your path itself. Because when you're constantly in alignment, it doesn't necessarily have to be you pulling all these, you know, you don't have to be the shot caller and all of this. Like, you don't have to always be leading. If you're in alignment, then that allows these circumstances around you to manipulate themselves into serving you, right? Then that intelligence of the universe can work with you. Okay, I gotta go. My cat is on the counter. Okay, he was actually on time for his feeding. You'll get a better view of him later if you guys want to see. But just because I mentioned him, I kept looking back there. I don't know if my voice was like going away or not, because I was like, I swear I hear him, but I didn't freaking see him. So just a quick little update. This is Simon. Hi, honey bunny. Thank you for looking. I adopted more cats. So I have Simon, Bella, Blackie. Those were the original names. He's a little chunky man, so we're trying to see if he can get a little bit less chunky. Hi, Sebastian. Sebastian's over here. We could get... No, he won't. Anyway, it's a long story about those. Not really that long, but that's kind of what I've been up to, is adopting the trio. They had a lot of work that had to be done with them. Fortunately, unfortunately, the only fortunate part is like that they're welcome as part of the family now, which is amazing. Come on, Sebastian, at least show your ear. Sebastian's here. Oh, and the other thing too, by the way, is he was allowed to be on the counters. That's where he would eat his food. So we don't get on counters here, but he does not know that yet. So there's that. Bye.